Yo, this is Tony Vlaco's Team TV, baby. The king of Survivor Cagayan Jungle. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. Let's give these guys from Season 29 a great show. I'll be listening to you guys from my Spy Shack. I hope everybody enjoys the show. Peace.
Hey everybody, this is Dwayne.
And this is David.
And we are just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. Tonight is our listener feedback show for episode 1 of Survivor. Suck it up and survive.
I love it when you do that to the titles. It just adds so much to it.
Yeah, right. Sarcasm is just dripping from your tone.
Especially when I'm sick. So it gets deeper.
Yeah, you might hear David tonight a lot of...
Or where did David go?
Yeah, why is David gone? So tonight is the night where we listen to, read, and discuss your feedback. That is right, my friends. We discuss the things that you say. We don't argue with you.
Never.
But we do have fun discussing what you had to say. And if we know you really well, we might even make fun of you. No, I'm just kidding. But we've already, if you haven't caught our recap show, that was done on Thursday night, live at 10 o'clock Eastern. But, of course, it's on iTunes and on YouTube. We're live right now on YouTube. If you are watching.
Is that your signal to remind me to go leave a comment to make sure it works?
Oh, no.
That was pretty slick. That was good.
Yeah, there you go. So, hey, everybody, I made a mistake on Thursday's show, and I said you had through Tuesday to order your T-shirts, and you don't. You have through Monday at midnight, and I think it's Central Time, midnight. So if you downloaded this on Tuesday thinking, oh, I can still get my shirt, sorry, you missed it. But if you get this on Monday, we're really trying to get to at least 50 T-shirts. That's where a price difference really helps. So we need to sell 17 more to get to 50. So if you want to help support multiple sclerosis research, we're going to donate $1 for every shirt we sell. And then also we're trying to upgrade David's equipment because, as you'll be able to see in a minute, his equipment is severely lacking. So 50 shirts won't do it, but at least it will help us. So
you don't have to get personal. Let's just keep it where it should be.
Yeah, all right.
Family friendly.
But anyway,
I just dropped a comment, so let me know when you see it.
All right. It's a good-looking shirt. It's just go look at it. T-shirt.stwdd.com. That's t-shirt.stwdd.com. Go look at that. Of course.
I'm sorry, David's equipment. Why'd you have to say David's equipment?
Your video equipment, David.
There you go. Let's be specific.
Your video equipment. Yes. So always thank you for shopping Amazon. Boy, there's a lot of stuff getting bought, and we really appreciate it. You use our link, and it helps us a lot. In fact, that's our primary source of paying for the podcast. Thank you very much. And one last thing, David, before we get to the listener feedback. Did you know you could support us financially with as little as $1 or $2 a month?
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah, over at patreon.com. If you consider that, if you enjoy the show, we'd love for you to consider becoming a Patreon. Everybody that becomes a Patreon gets a free wallpaper for their computer, desktop, for their phones, smartphones, whatever. You can even get a ringtone of some of my parodies from last season and go from there. So we would really appreciate it. You can go to survivortalkwithdnd.com/support. All right. Guess what we're doing later on in the podcast, David?
Let me look at the notes and see if I don't get caught. I don't see anything.
Yeah, well, there's my arm again. I can't do that. We're going to be doing our fantasy points, see how we did and how well you're doing versus me. And also, for those of you who want to know more than just how many points people got, we will give you the breakdown of why they got their points. Right?
Right.
For the D&D Survivor Fantasy.
And different this season, we're not covering the fun office pools on here, but I'm still going to do the post on the Facebook page.
Right.
To show the rankings and how they finished and stuff like that.
That's right. And then also, David's going to give us, David watched episode 1 of Borneo, Survivor Season 1, and he's going to, at the end of the podcast, give us a comparison because he had said, well, tell him why you're doing this, David.
I did it because when I the first time I watched San Juan Del Sur premiere episode, it was missing something for me. Being a fan after 29 seasons, it was missing something for me, and I mean, it was lacking. And after talking to a lot of different people online and outside of the internet, real people, face to face, and I wanted to find out what I was missing and what I was not seeing. And we're actually going to cover it in feedback, because some people have the same comments that I do. But I wanted to see what was different between season 1 and season 29. It had been a long time since I'd watched the first episode of Borneo. Yeah. And I put the link on our Facebook page, so if you got 44 minutes, go watch it. It flies by.
Yeah. All right.
So I just want to compare some things from then till now.
All right, and we'll do that at the end of the podcast, so that'll be cool. All right, listener feedback. We have first an audio feedback from Jonathan Riley, and here it is.
Hey, Dwayne and David. I just wanted to send you some feedback here for your show. My thing is, I was like I said on my show, Survivor Talk, on Survivor Nation. The reward challenge that they had with like Jeremy going against Val, husband versus wife. Now that Nadia is gone, or Nadia. Now that Nadia is gone, if Natalie gets picked, who's she gonna face? Because her sister's gone. So how they gonna like have family versus family future-wise? Since Nadia's already gone, so if Natalie gets picked, she can't face her sister. So how's the rewards gonna work? Or is that just a one-time deal where Jeremy and Val? I mean, it's kind of confusing to me, and would like to get you guys the feedback on what you think, how they're going to work this. Like, would Natalie face somebody from Nadia's former tribe, or are they going to bring Nadia back for just that reward challenge, or how's it going to work? It's kind of a confusing thing for this season, so I look forward to seeing how that works out. That when the family members are voted off, who their family member would face if it's a one-on-one reward challenge. So, what do you guys think about that? Peace.
Jonathan, I have an answer for you, my friend. The answer is Natalie will no longer be available for the reward challenge. Jeff Probst told Dalton Ross that once your partner is gone, you will not be eligible. So, there you go.
Yeah, Dalton had the same question you did. He said, what happens if my partner's gone? He says, well, then we're hoping to get several pairs before this runs out, but we're only going to use pairs.
Right. So this goes to the merge, and I seriously doubt all the couples will be gone. I mean, you'd have to have a completely decimated tribe before the merge, which isn't even possible. So they'll always have couples. We
could get to 5 episodes and still have 4.
Yeah.
4 pairs.
I'm not sure how they're going to pick though. Are they? I don't know that they'll draw again, or do rock paper scissors the incorrect way.
I think they should do it different. Of course, it's already been done. But if I was doing it, I would do it different each time. Like draw a name one time, and then flat out ask for volunteers one time. See who wants to do it. Because it's going to be talked about. I don't know if it was on our Facebook page or in the feedback about people looking at the challenges, getting a good look at it, and saying, you know what, I could do that. That's something I could do. So it'll be interesting.
I think what's going to happen is the winning tribe, the immunity winners, will get to choose which player is going to go up against their loved one. That's what I think will happen. Oh. So Hunapu will get to look at their tribe and go, you know what, we're going to put up John versus Jacqueline. Or
they could do it the other way around. They could say whoever lost immunity gets to choose and flip it that way.
Those are the two choices. It is very astute of you.
I tell you, when you want definitive answers, you go to D&D because you'll get one or the other.
It's very astute of you, David, to point out the only other option as the other option.
I'm sorry. I'm only half breathing and half working.
Actually, that's not the only other option. So,
right.
All right.
That is the opposite option to your option.
Yes. Thank you, Jonathan Riley, for your feedback. Jonathan has a website, Survivor Nation. I think it's survivornation.com, isn't it?
It is Survivor Nation, and he's got podcasts as well for his. He's also got a Facebook page, and he's got his own recap podcast.
Yeah. All right. Next we have Dave from Lewiston, Pennsylvania. I was totally unimpressed with this first episode.
Well, that's good feedback. Who's next? Oh, he's got more. Okay, sorry.
Let me read that again, because I had a way I was going to read it, and then
I messed you up.
And then you pulled a Dwaine and interrupted me. Because I do that to you all the time. Here we go. I was totally unimpressed with the first episode. At first.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I then watched Amazing Race on Saturday morning DVR and loved it. It was a lot better than Survivor's first episode. Did you watch Amazing Race? I have not.
No, but I did DVR it, so I am going to watch it this year.
You digital video recorded it.
Digitally, video-wise, recorded it, yes.
All right. I then listened to your podcast and decided that maybe I was too tired when my wife and I watched Survivor live on Wednesday. So thanks to your podcast, I went to CBS.com and rewatched the episode this morning. It was better and more fun than I remember. Well, thank you. My wife read that recap and she goes, "Oh, what a nice first feedback you have."
So we need to set up a link where if they click and go to CBS.com, we get credit for that somehow or not.
Yeah, hello. Now, Dave, what you also experienced on CBS.com was 48 minutes of ridiculous commercials.
Oh, my goodness.
So anyway. All right, what stood out to me the most from this episode was Josh taking offense to being thought of as a girl because he's gay. That was amusing and really typecasting by Nadia. Yes, it was. As she learned, that backfired on her. Gay or not, I think Josh is one to root for this season. You go, guy. I agree, Josh is one to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, she did make a big mistake.
Yeah.
He was like, that is the one thing you do not do. And you know what's odd is I don't even know why she said it, because he doesn't act like that.
No, not at all.
He didn't. Neither one of them act like what people would call that, the girl of the group or whatever.
See, it's
like that.
Yeah, it's funny because the more I thought about Nadia and Natalie being on there, their first Amazing Race, they were all new players, so they all knew to get along at the same level. The second time they played, they were all stars. They were all returning players, so they could actually talk to them in the same way because they were the same.
Right.
So they come on Survivor as reality stars, almost, and Nadia almost acted like everybody else was already a reality star. They weren't new to this TV thing, so she's talking to them very bluntly, very, like we said, unfiltered. And I'm just wondering if she thought she'd get away with that, instead of guarding herself and being more, more socially protective and less open. Because I think she was way too open.
I think that's just her and Natalie's personality.
Yeah.
They're going to say what they, like we said, there's no filter from here to here.
Yeah.
All right. You're my girl. Josh was like,
no,
I'm not.
You can ask my boyfriend because I do not like
I'm not your girl. All right, here we go. Anyway, a great TV week. Oh, that's the truth. With Sons of Anarchy, Law and Order, Survivor, Amazing Race, and Hawaii Five-0 all returning. Now for Grimm and Walking Dead.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Take care, you guys, and thanks for your clean podcast. You're welcome. Can't wait for the shirt to show up and promote you guys. Thank you, Dave. Dave bought one of our T-shirts.
Well done.
T-shirt.stwdd.com.
24 hours. Get it done.
Well, yeah, that's about all you got. And if
That's
you're
right.
listening to this on Monday, you got less than that.
Yep.
All right. All right, David. That was a great feedback from Dave Kuhn.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next we have Kathy Trantham. And she left us 3 audio feedback. 3, David.
3? Just 3?
Because one's not enough. And 2, I don't know why she left us 3.
Well, she only does it like every other season, so she's got to do it all in one time.
This is her first and last feedback for the season. and that's on her, not on us. By the way, Kathy is the one who takes my ridiculous screen caps, because every once in a while I'll make a face, and I'm not going to do it right now. And she loves to go capture them and post them on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. She's very good at it.
Why does she ever do that to you? I don't understand.
Because I don't have your face. You have a more photogenic face.
Oh, is that what it is?
Or you make more photogenic faces.
I was going to say, because the pictures she used, are not usually photogenic. All right, here's Kathy Trantham, the Zumba specialist. Here we go.
Hi guys, this is Kathy, and okay, so I know you've got figured out that I'm probably not going to go too deep into this feedback. I'm offer more of the snark element. So hang on to your hats. Alright, so the first person I want to talk about is Julie Day One. I mean, hello, how low of a bra do you need to wear? Are you like trying to show us your scars? I mean, really. The other thing is when Probst was talking to Rocker, this was like day one, I think. He's like, hey, Rocker, this was after the whole tribe split thing. How are you going to be, you want to be there to take care of your woman. And then we get the shots of Julie just finger combing her hair, and I just don't know what to think.
Maybe I should listen to these first.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel, Kat?
So I can get my laughing out, so I don't laugh during the podcast.
I'm glad I was muted because you'd have never heard the rest of that feedback.
All right. That was number one. Here's number two.
Part two.
I don't know what she did. I mean, you just push record and talk. So I guess she, stopped it to gather her thoughts. All right, here we go. Number two.
The bug issue. I swear, I actually thought there were bugs in my living room. I mean, this HD stuff is incredible. It was like the bugs were in HD and in 3D. So, alright. I know some people had a problem with Probst yelling at Val when she was in the challenge, against her husband and saying, dig, woman! Well, I was actually happy that he said that, thinking it was more encouraging than what, his normal taunting, because, that, if you had taunted like he normally does the women, like, oh, she's so far behind, that just would have been very, very, very mean of Probst. Alright, I did have to laugh, Jeremy, as he's talking, and I mean, he was crying, so here it was sad, it was touching, but those dudes are gonna kill me at home. Okay, so Missy, here she, alright, so she and Jeremy, they were talking, and Jeremy's like, alluding to the fact that she's smart, and that he would like to work with her. And then I thought it was so funny. The very next scene is her confessional. Yeah, for as many times as I've been married and divorced, I've learned to listen to my gut. And I'm like, really? It took that long? Huh. Alright, so the next thing here, I just want to point out that Kelly, her blonde hair is natural. Natural. And I'm not saying that as a blonde joke. Natural is good. Okay, those guys and their underwear, I mean, I really don't know what to say about that. I do want to point out Keith. Oh, holy cow. So if anybody needs implants, it's probably Keith. I mean, his pants, his jeans, they were falling down, and it's only the first day. But I think Keith is super funny, and I like him a lot better than I thought I would. Because he's been no further north than Arkansas. Wow.
Okay, did she say Keith needed implants to keep his pants up? That's what she said. Is she talking about butt implants or something? Is that what she's talking about?
I was still laughing at the other thing because I'm trying to figure out should we have had natural hair color as one of the categories?
How do you know? I mean, you don't know. Oh, okay. I guess Jacqueline maybe not because she's got brown roots. So maybe I don't know. But you know how Kathy is. She has this radar for non-natural things.
Oh, yeah. And the thing about the dig deep or dig woman or whatever, it's almost like maybe, I mean, it could be the editing and what we saw, but she was struggling figuring out which way to go.
Yeah. I lost David. All right. Don't know why I lost David. We're going to go ahead
To
and
me,
go.
that was the delay.
Oh,
It might have been you because I lost your video, but had your audio.
it might have
But
been.
it's almost she was at the point of trying to get over to the high log, the highest, and I mean she was fighting to get over it. But to me, the delay that cost her was she just got confused.
Yeah.
She wasn't sure which way to go, and it's like,
Right.
it's not dig deep, woman. It's woman, you better hurry because you're behind.
Right.
So,
All right, we got one more from Kathy. Here we go.
So Drew and Alec, the Surfer brothers. Dude, hey, look at this awesome shelter I just built. I'm so like a genius, dude. Yeah, there's a pause there because I just really don't know what to say about them either. Well, but I do want to point out, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but that's not a surprise with me. So, was it Alex or Drew? I'm not for sure. I still can't tell them apart. Doing the puzzle, the immunity challenge puzzle. I'm thinking the ones that lost. I thought, why? I just didn't get that. Okay, so back to Julie. I kind of failed to mention this, but when she was talking about Drew building the shelter, making fun of him, and then she's like, I'm dating John Walker, the Major League Baseball player. He played for the Atlanta Braves, blah, blah, blah. Like, we haven't already heard this 3 times this episode. She needs to learn to have, be her own person. Don't you think? I think so. So, I was really afraid Josh was going to go Shamar on us with the whole eye thing, but he sucked it up. Good job. Okay, so...
Hey, before she goes on, you know who almost got the Shamar thing was John. Mish. Because he was laying underneath the shelter when it was being done, and you saw all this sawdust going on his eyes.
yeah, it was everywhere but his eyes. I mean, he must
Yeah.
have blinked or something, but I never thought Josh was going to quit.
Oh, no, I didn't either.
Yeah, I never had that. Not like Shamar. I think Shamar was waiting for somebody to tell him he had to quit.
Oh, yeah. Shamar was
hoping.
out there throwing sand in his eyes. I need sand in my eyes! All right, we're back to snarky Kathy. Here we go.
Tribal Council. First of all, I think everybody's all jumping all over Nadia for what she said about Josh, and I would like somebody to look this up because I'm about 95% sure that Colton, in his first season, he referred to himself that way. Please, somebody check that.
Okay, we don't have to check that. Yes, Colton did say that. But that doesn't mean that every single gay guy wants to be called a girl.
Did he say he was one of the girls or that he associated better with girls?
I'm pretty sure Colton said, I'd rather be with the girls. I am one of the... He even said, I'm just with y'all and all this kind of stuff. I mean, we can ask him. Text him and ask him while we're talking. All right, back to Kathy.
Okay, and I'm talking about the whole, what she was calling Josh a girl. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, so the other thing is I just think it was a little stupid to vote Nadia out at this point. She's the strongest female. It was just really too soon, newbies, okay? But I did think that was very polite of her, helpful, that she wore her name on her necklace, and that way there were very few misspellings of her name. Good job. Dang it.
I think she's done. There you go. Thank you, Kathy. Her first, I don't know, was that her first feedback?
I don't recall. I want to say she's done it before.
First feedback this season.
There you go. Thanks for pointing out the obvious. Good job.
All right, I know you're in the middle of texting Colton, but it's your turn to read another feedback, David.
Gotcha.
All right. So David's going to read Daniel. Here we go.
Hey, Dwaine and David, this is Daniel. Just like Dwaine said. Another great premiere of Survivor in my eyes. I'm a bit sad because in a game similar to your Survivor draft, where me and some other people ranked the castaways based on how likely we think they'll go home, I was too faithful in 20 power. But I won't let that dampen my mood because this episode, as David said, was pretty funny to me. Anyway, I think the reason David and Dalton or whoever else is disappointed with the strategy of the group is that this season has a much different cast than, say, last season. Last season? Yeah. Yeah, good point. Now, in all fairness to casting, they've probably got 9 or 10 people they wanted, and then they had to take the others because they made up the blood versus water theme.
Right.
So last season, they had already casted the 18 and realized that they could split them up into brains, brawn, and beauty. They definitely didn't see anything like that for this cast, and there would have had to have been a fourth try for other to fit everyone. But I still have high hopes because sometimes train wrecks can be enjoyable. I've never heard that said before.
Really?
Train
Not
wrecks?
literal train wrecks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know you can't look away from a train wreck. It's hard to look away, but it can be enjoyable.
They're enjoyable when they're, CGI on a movie.
There you go. And I despise those people who repeatedly bash a season before it's really gotten underway. All right, you didn't have to call us out on that, but I understand.
Hey, he didn't call me out. I didn't bash anything. But there's a lot of people bashing it.
Yeah.
But you know what, David? Every single season, there's always people bashing the season before it even starts. Oh, we hate the cast. It's going to be a boring cast. Every single season. I just say, hey, I'm going to enjoy it.
You're one in a million. Got to tell you.
And David, this is what we're seeing.
Oh, was he getting in the way? Sorry.
Your camera must be like 2 inches from your face or something. That's incredible. All right, well, go on.
You see me now?
Yes, David.
Okay. I kind of saw what happened with Val coming. She was obviously the controlling one in her and Jeremy's relationship pre-game, but I still liked her. And even now I'm rooting for her. Now that Nadia's gone, she's definitely in trouble, but I feel like Jacqueline, who we haven't heard much from, would go before her. Jeremy, on the other hand, is doing great. And if I had to pick someone who I wanted to win, it'd have to be him. He's happy, he's nice, he's genuine, but he uses all those characteristics to his advantage strategically, as we saw with the women. As far as the other people that stood out, I actually think I put Michigan. This Michigan John had a relatively nice edit. I liked him from the first time I saw him, and after episode 1, I'm even more of a fan. He's a funny guy, and I think he'll be able to gel well with his tribe, as we saw with him stroking Drew's ego while Drew was building the shelter. And the fact that we saw a more emotional side of him with his dying father, it made me think he would go far and was getting the human edit instead of pulling a Jenna Marasco and quitting because of it. Too bad we haven't heard from Jacqueline yet. Well, we might see a different side of John if Jacqueline is the next one to go.
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting to me, though, because I don't know too many people that put a negative spin on Jenna Marasco leaving, but Daniel seems to.
Well, I don't think he put it as negative. He just put it as she came with an ailing immediate family member.
Yeah, but he said instead of pulling a Jenna Marasco and quitting because of it. That obviously I can't tell what his tone was, but that kind of sounds like pulling a Jenna Marasco, which is quitting because. So most people I talk to think that she, they would have left. I mean, didn't her? Do you remember what happened exactly? Because I don't know exactly.
I believe it was her mom that was sick, and I believe she passed within a few short time when she got back.
So it was something that they had to let her know, hey, your mom's gotten worse, type of thing.
Right. See, I'm on the other side that says she probably shouldn't have gone in the first place. But I don't know if she took a turn for the worse when she arrived or what it was, but I don't know.
All right.
Moving on. John Rocker surprised me pleasantly. I don't think he's going to be as crazy as everyone thinks. Production seems to be hinting at him going at it with Natalie, but since Nadia's gone already, it shouldn't get any of his tribe mates mad at him, unless he offends them as well. His girlfriend Julie also has an alright edit, but I don't have enough to tell if she'll do well or not. Josh and Reed are going far. What can I say?
Yep.
Everyone's already talked about them so much, so I don't just want to repeat everything they've said, but I like them. I don't think David needs to be worried about Reed's edit because a lot of people don't get much of a voice in the premiere. There's just not enough time to fit everyone in. If my memory serves, Tyson wasn't a big character in episode 1 of the last Blood vs. Water, and everyone knows how that turned out.
Yep. And if you don't know, he won.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't seen much of Kelly, but I like Dale so far. Breaking the glasses was great for him, because from what I've heard, Nadia say in her interviews, the guys fell in love with him after he did that.
Oh, that's interesting to hear. I didn't know that.
I do think it would be really funny if he found the real idol at the water well, but I don't think we'll have to be debating if it's real or not for long. Production wouldn't leave that a mystery. Are you still thinking it is an idol or not an idol?
Well, I originally was thinking it wasn't.
So, I think it's not either. I don't know. I just get the feeling it's not. Like Mike said online that it had no directions with it, no note with it. So,
I think I now the Mars theory, and if you don't remember it, go listen to the podcast, the recap episode discussion. Now I think that the emblem on that, you coincide it with the emblem on the, you know how they had those emblems on the circle?
Mm-hmm.
So you line that up with either that emblem and match it, and then the idol is in that line. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming the well top only goes on one way.
Right.
Right? Or it's the two pictures that were on the clue. One of them is on that little medallion, and one of them is one of the ones in the circle, and you line those up, and that points it in the direction of where the idol is hidden.
That would be neat.
Yes.
Very creative.
Reminds me of like those computer games where you gotta, those puzzle games. Not like Zork, but
I would thought they would have gotten more directions about combining the clues, but I do like that you could tie it to the handle and then hold the necklace thing out towards the second symbol, and that's the direction you got to go.
Right.
If it fits one certain way.
Right. And then like maybe the second clue says, 25 paces or whatever.
Yeah.
Dig. Or dig a tornado size hole, a tornado shelter size hole on the beach and act like you're going to have a fire in it. From a couple seasons ago.
Okay.
That joke totally fell on the floor.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
I didn't get that. Sorry.
You don't remember a couple seasons ago that they were digging for an idol on the beach, and it was like chest deep, and someone walked up on them and they go, "Oh, we thought we'd build a fire pit." You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember.
That was hilarious. All right, forget it.
Okay. Back to Daniel. I'm also liking Baylor and Missy, mostly Baylor from last night. We didn't see much of Missy, but from what we got, she's already in tight with Jeremy, and in the super tease, we see Julie confiding in her. So I think she's in a solid spot. As long as that tribe keeps winning, all of them are in a solid spot. So That's a good point. As far as Baylor goes, I doubt Josh actually wanted her out, so I think she's safe. She is shown as a strategic entity this episode. It was actually the deciding vote to send Nadia home, as she sided with the guys. I'm liking her.
I think she sided with Josh.
Yeah.
More than the guys, and Josh changed his vote.
I think Josh saying that he still wasn't sure getting the tribal council meant he was, looking at two votes, Nadia or Baylor. I think he was considering both of them. Nadia was a home run because everybody was already going to vote for her, but he could actually use a vote against Baylor, a smart person who maybe he felt would be too smart, and use that against her to make her nervous.
I don't know.
I don't think it's a throwaway vote. I mean, I don't call it that. I think it was definitely.
No, he's got something up his sleeve, and he's not going to tell Baylor that he did it, right?
Not at all.
He's got something up his sleeve, like he's going to blame it on somebody else or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, he could say that Nadia did it because somehow she got wind of what we were doing,
right.
And then say, "I wonder who told her." It must be one of the other women.
He could blame anybody, but I think it's part of a plan.
Yeah. The last pairing that stuck out to me was the Louisiana father and son, Keith and Wes. I feel like Keith had a relatively good edit, and I think he played all right. I doubt that he didn't realize Val had a clue to an idol and wasn't as dumb as he was portrayed. Okay. Wes, on the other hand, Wes, on the other hand, has some bad omens going for him. The conversation with Rocker was one thing. Usually you need basic numerical skills to be able to make it in Survivor. Plus, I actually think that it was sort of a misdirect within a misdirect in the super tease after the episode, and I think he will quit. I remember them doing similar things in the previews for Lindsay's, Colton's, and others quitting, and the fact that so far he's only been shown losing Flint and counting wrong doesn't help his cause. Not going far. Again, sorry if this was so short. I haven't had a lot of time this weekend to write up a feedback, so I hope this will suffice. Can't wait to hear you guys again, Daniel. This was not short.
That was not short at all. It was perfect.
It was very meaty. A lot of good meat in there.
Lots of good stuff. So what do you think? Who loses the Flint? I think it has to be Wes or Keith. Well, and which tribe loses it? Coyopa?
I don't think Keith losing Flint would be what would lead him to say, "We've done something. I've done the worst thing ever in Survivor." I don't think that's related to that.
Well, which tribe loses Flint? I thought it was Coyopa that loses Flint.
Well, I don't know if
he lost Flint in that preview.
Yeah, I definitely think it's Coyopa because they just got it.
I know, but somebody says, I can't believe he lost Flint, and I don't remember who it was. It was either Jacqueline or Kelly, but I don't remember which one.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know which one said that.
Well, whichever tribe it is, I think it's either Wes or Keith because they wouldn't have brought it up in the premiere episode if it didn't come back later. What? What'd you say?
I said right because I think it is Wes. I think it's on Coyopa, and I think he can't believe he did it again, and it just doesn't bode well.
How do you lose Flint again?
There's a lot of leaves and stuff out there.
It's like my son with his key. Dad, I can't find my key. Son, if you'd put your key in the cubby every time. I do put my key in the cubby every time. Really? Let's go check the cubby.
I like it when I catch Gracie and she says, I can't find my key. Is it still on the door?
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Just once. I think just once I caught her at that. She came in a hurry and then she couldn't find it.
Yeah. All right. This is our last feedback is from Will. Actually, it's not our last one. Sorry. We have the Miko quiz coming up, which is a good one. In fact, the Miko quiz, is it Miko or Miko?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. But every single feedback episode, well, we're going to have a quiz. It's going to be fun. But first, Will, the giant ninja.
Yeah, he's getting a little perturbed that you skipped him like that, so go ahead.
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the giant ninja. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little ticked off right now. I just suffered through watching my Bears get beaten at Green Bay, and it hurts. I'm not really up to being happy and funny.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, but since Aaron Rodgers is on both my fantasy teams, I'm not feeling too bad about that right now.
Oh, so you're going to talk smack to Will the Giant Ninja.
Just saying that I might be a little sarcastic and funnier since he's not.
Okay. This is your fault, D&D. I should have been writing this on Friday, but your new weekly schedule is killing me. I didn't have enough time to get through your recap show on Friday, so I had to finish it yesterday, meaning that I had to write this today, and the Bears lost. Hey, look at that flag behind Dwaine.
Chicago.
All right. Yes, Will's the one who donated the flag. And my son is incredibly jealous that I have this flag.
Yes.
That's right. You know, David, I've lost a lot of weight. I weigh 280.
Woohoo!
I weigh 228 something today, down from 255 in June.
How do you go from a flag to that?
Because when I did this, I thought, wow, my arm is skinny.
That's because you put it further away. It's going to look skinny. If I back up, I lose 112 pounds.
Wait, when I laugh, I don't look as skinny.
No laughing.
All right.
Get your arm. That's funny.
Well,
I stuck my arm up and it looks lighter.
That's what made me think of it.
Okay. I'm just like, did you have a note to remind yourself to mention that?
Hey, that reminds me of our Coyopa and Hunapu buffs that you can get on Buff USA.
Yes.
And there's a buff emblem on our website. Go click it and go to Buff USA and buy yourself some buffs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Continuing with Will. Will got a commercial in the middle of this.
So long he got a commercial break.
So we've got Blood versus Water 2, huh? Meh. Okay, I like the first Blood versus Water well enough. Though, for me, a great Survivor season is about the cast, not the twist. And we don't know much about this cast yet. We've got 9 pairs of 2. Strangely, there are several pairs that I can't tell apart yet. Obviously, the 20s are one of them. I can't tell my Nadia from my Natalie. Which one was voted off? But likewise, I can't tell Alec from Drew, or Josh from Reed, or Dale from Kelly. Kelly was the one that broke the glasses, right? It's tough to keep up. I thought he wasn't going to be funny in this one.
Exactly. He might be serious.
So this early in the season, I'm going to have some quick thoughts about each pair. Here goes. Oh, wow. Quick thoughts on each pair. All right, here we go. After 5, we'll do another commercial. Dale and Kelly. The farmer was impressive. His head was on the chopping block, but he was able to prove his worth to his tribe, or at least to Josh, or was that Reed? Kelly found her way into Firemen Are Us, and Dale looks to be on the right side of a 6-2 tribe split. Things are looking good for this pair. Drew and Alec. I'm not kidding about these two. I can't tell them apart. I don't know who is who. The one that helped build the shelter and used to be a model is a real threat, though. Or rather, he would have been if he'd kept his modeling a secret. Didn't he watch Kagayan? By the way, this is Drew he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah made it very clear to us that being a male model puts a huge target on your back. You don't tell anyone you're a male model until you're down in the numbers 6 to 3, idiot. SGA 9000 agrees. Number 3, Jeremy and Val. I really like these two preseason, but Val has me scratching my head. She is at Exile Island with a player handpicked by her husband to take care of her, and she chooses not to share a clue to the hidden immunity idol with that player. Yes. I just don't get that. And Jeremy seems to be working too hard to generate his alliance, in my opinion. You know what? I agree.
I agree with both comments.
I agree. He's handpicked 4 people to join him, and he's systematically excluded the beef on his tribe. Giving him the benefit of the doubt, I assume he's trying to vote off the John Rockers of the world because he's trying to protect Val from tribal council. He can afford to go there as long as he's got his 5 votes. But I'm not sure he has the chops to run his alliance of 5 to the end. They may turn on him, in which case Val is out there by herself.
Yep.
Number 4.
It's not a bad strategy, but I think it could get him in trouble. I agree with Will. It would get him in trouble before it would get him to the end.
Yeah. John and Julie. I was pretty impressed with Rocker tonight. Honestly, I don't know that he'll be a good strategist, but he didn't ruin his game socially, which is what I was expecting. And he was a beast in the challenge. That's so true. If he can avoid being the victim of Firemen Are Us, or he can get the FRU to flop on Jeremy, he's got staying power in this game. And who didn't love Julie's "I know dumb jocks" line? I know that's not what she said, but that's how I chose to remember it. Number 5, Josh and Reed. Again, which one voted Nadia out? I think it was Josh. The blonde one, anyway. What the heck was up with him voting for Baylor? Strange, strange decisions. Even stranger that Val not sharing her clue with Keith. I'm sorry, even stranger than Val not sharing her clue with Keith. I hope we learn more about that decision next week, because right now I feel like we had to have missed something. Regardless, though, it seems like everyone wants to work with Josh, even if he's not one of the girls. So good for him. Reed, I think, may be first out on his tribe. Wow. We just haven't seen enough Reed for me to be able to say that, but that's a bold statement.
Well, we got Jeremy and his After Effect, but otherwise I don't think we got anything from Unapu.
Yeah. Well, nothing from Reed. So
yeah, mainly just Jeremy and John.
No. He's not the physical asset that John Rocker is, so he may be Jeremy's target. We'll see. Number 6, John and Jacqueline. Who? Was he the little Tasmanian devil guy in the challenge? Good on him.
Yep, that was him.
Number 7, Keith and Wes. Dear Wes, the game is outwit, outplay, outlast. If you can't count to 6, you'll have trouble with the first one. Number 8. The Bears lost. The Bears. But David, I'm so sorry that you're sick. Not only because you're sick, but also because...
I'll mute.
No, you don't have to mute it. They can't hear it. It's all good. I got these in-ears. I hear everything. So unmute yourself, David. Next is Missy and Baylor. Baylor looks like a real threat. Missy is there too. The best thing that Missy has going for her is that Jeremy, apparently, believes that he can control her. She should be a good soldier and hope that he can control the numbers. Missy won't go anywhere in this game unless and until she's on the same tribe as her daughter, who seems to know what's going on. Natalie and Nadia. So sad to see one of the 20s gone. I'm not an Amazing Race fan. I haven't watched a single episode of that show since its first season, but they seem to be great characters, and it looks like this cast needs them. I agree with you. They would have been great characters to stay on the show.
Yeah.
Especially when they got on the same tribe. I'm pulling for Natalie or Nadia, whichever one is still in the game. Go Twinny. Final thoughts. I hope someone emerges and controls this game strategically. We saw so little strategy in this episode that I'm a little worried about the prospects. But I'll continue to have faith. Rocker should be fun to watch. I hope he continues to dominate in the challenges, and I kind of hope he's smarter than he looks. One more thing. I love me some Cass. Sorry, had to do that. Hashtag no hashtags this week. Then he sent another email.
And before you read that, just remember the feedback and comments made by our listeners in the feedback podcast do not necessarily represent the opinions of the host.
Yeah, we usually reserve that for Mike in Cleveland, but Mike hasn't written it in.
Mm-mm.
What's up with that? All right. 2 more things. Number 1, John Rocker was right. New York is terrible, so is their floppy so-called pizza. Way to make some enemies there,
The
Will.
opinions do not reflect the views of this host. I'm sorry. I like Chicago pizza, but I love New York-style pizza.
Completely different styles. I used to work at Chicago Uno's,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to tell you something, man. That's some amazing pizza. But I also had some pizza up in New York. Which one do I like better? Chicago.
See, you must not have worked at the Uno's I went to because I didn't care for it that much.
All right.
But I like deep dish. Nothing wrong with deep dish.
Yeah. Number 2, buy a shirt. Preferably a D&D shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
Dwaine. Oh, wow. Can we never hear that again?
As long as you don't repeat it again.
That's Dwaine and David's celebrity couple name. You know what, Will? Who's playing the Bears next week? Because I'm rooting for them. No, but seriously. Dwaine and David put on 2 great podcasts a week for us. They don't get anything out of it. Well, we get a lot of enjoyment.
Yeah, I was going to say, we enjoy it.
They do it because they love it and because they love us, and they need some money to buy new equipment. So buy a shirt now, or if you don't want to spend $20 on a shirt, then send them $5 via PayPal. They don't ask for much, and this isn't much to ask. Later, peeps. Will the Giant Ninja. Thank you, Will. And seriously, $1 or $2 a month through Patreon, you'll hardly even notice gone.
Yep.
Yep. And we'll greatly appreciate it. What a great feedback.
Mm-hmm.
It is time for the Miko Challenge.
Oh, boy.
Brought to you weekly by Buff USA. Not really, but they sent us some buffs, so we got to promote them, my friends. Get some buffs. All right, David, this is how it's going to work. I'll go ahead and read it to you. This is from Miko. All right. Hey, D&D. So originally I was going to do just some simple quote trivia for feedback, but then I thought, why not turn this into a season-long challenge where I ask you questions and quotes from the episodes, and whoever gets the most points by the end of the season wins? Yeah. A little friendly competition, David.
Okay.
All right. Obviously, because I need one of you to read the questions weekly, what I'd suggest is that you take turns asking and answering the questions. So that way, both would have an equal opportunity to get the same amount of points by the end of the season. 7 episodes each. You can choose among yourselves who wants to go first, and then I'll keep track of whose turn it is every week, as well as keep score. Here are the rules, David. There will be 10 quotes. All right? And you have 1 point for guessing the person the quote belongs to, or when it was said if I specifically ask for the latter piece of information. 5 questions, a maximum of 3 points for each question. On every question, I'll explain how to get the points. Okay. I took this quiz with Connie, and I got a score of... We'll see if you do better than me. Although it will not be... My score is not official. This is... Your score this week will be the first official score in the Miko Challenge.
Okay.
Or the Miko Quiz. It's the Miko Quiz. We're gonna take the Miko Quiz. All right, here we go. Week number 1. Quote 1, David. My answer's up here. All right. You always have to be looking for the positive in a situation. Who said it?
Duh, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but there's a lot of empty.
I know. You always have to be looking positive in a situation.
Yo, this is Tony Vlaco's team.
Hurry up, man. Come on.
Oh, man, I was going to have to guess because I don't know. I'm going to say, I'm going to guess Missy. I don't know. I don't
Dale.
remember that one.
Oh, I need a buzzer sound on my thing.
And he did just
Right.
made a pretty good annoying sound right there. That was pretty good.
All right. I got that one wrong, too.
Okay.
Number 2, quote number 2. In Blood versus Water, it's all about couples. Who said that?
This is a quote from the show?
Yes. You idiot. That's what I'll do when you get them wrong.
Is that Probst?
You idiot. No, that was Jeremy after sending Val to Exile Island. And Dale said his quote before starting the fire.
Yeah.
Now, how many times have you watched the show, David? 3 times? Or you've watched twice and listened 3 times?
Yeah.
All right. Quote number 3. Fire is life.
It's either Reed or Josh. Or is it Dale?
You idiot. Oh, sorry.
It's such a short comment. You got to give me a longer comment than that. They could have said that with their back to the camera. Fire is life. I'm going to guess Josh.
You idiot. It's Dale. Miko, I love this game.
Have you gotten any of these right?
No.
Okay.
All right, number 4. You take away all the basic needs, and that's Survivor.
That's one of the 20s. I'm going to say Nadia.
Crud. Yes, it's Nadia. Day
Well,
0.
at least it wasn't a uh-oh. Who said that? Quick. Come on, give me more than 3 words. 2 words. Fire is life. Really? So
Yeah, I got Nadia right also. But again, mine are unofficial. Yours are the official ones.
Yeah.
Number 5. Quote, Survivor always throws a curveball at you. Unquote.
Well, that would have to be somebody that's actually seen the show. So that narrows down to like 3 people. Survivor always throws a curveball at you.
People are yelling at their radios right
I'm
now.
going to say Jeremy.
You idiot. I got this one right. It was Josh.
Oh, okay.
After starting to experience an allergic reaction in his eyes.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get that far on my last listen.
All right. Quote number 6. Okay. No, I like it.
Is that Missy about the shelter?
Yes. I can't believe it. I got that one wrong. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
I was thinking her or Julie were looking at the shelter, but I think it was Missy because you even mentioned in the recap you said
Oh,
something.
I know.
She said okay.
I made a big deal about it. Yeah. All right. Well, whenever Connie said it to me, she goes, okay, no, I like it. But when I did it for you, I did it more like Missy did it. Okay. No, I like it. So you'd know it was 2 different. So I helped you.
I would have got it either way.
You would not have.
Yes, I would have. Quit straightening your glasses. Next one.
Sorry, that's how I straighten my glasses. Number 7. Sometimes people like the swing vote. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Sometimes people with the swing vote end up in the worst position.
Josh.
Yeah, that was obvious.
Yeah.
Before going to tribal. How many have you gotten right?
I think just 3.
Oh, well, Miko's keeping track of it. I'm not.
Yeah.
All right. Number 8. If you're going to be on Survivor, you got to know how to make a fire.
Reed.
Yes. Number 9. I got that one right, too. Once you lose that positive spirit, you're dead.
Ooh, I remember that one. Once you lose the positive spirit, you're dead.
Da, 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 da.
Positive spirit. Is that a cheerleading question? Once you lose the positive spirit, you're dead.
Ba-dum,
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Baylor.
bum,
I don't think it's her, though.
bum, ba-da-ba-dum. You idiot.
Wait till I get your buzzer.
Hey, you don't have this boss job.
I will
app.
next week.
No, you
But
don't.
next week. No, next week I'll have a buzzer for you when you miss them.
Oh, will you?
I sure will.
That was easy. That's what you need to have for me. That was easy, because I'm going to kick your butt in this game.
Okay.
That was easy. Nothing like a little friendly competition.
Hold on, I just dropped my internet. Hang on.
Dude, that's not good. What do you mean you just dropped your internet?
That's my internet connection.
Wait a second. How do you lose your internet?
It fell out. It doesn't have one of those clip things
He's
on it.
holding the cord on the camera. That's supposed, but yet you're still on the internet. It's wireless. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
All right, quote number 10. There's definitely dangers that are far from anything I know around here.
Goodness. Definitely dangerous, far from anything I know around here. Sounds like one of the girls.
I got this one right also.
There are so many quotes in here. Shoot. Read it again.
Quote. There's definitely dangers that are far from anything I know around here.
I'm going to guess and say Julie.
Okay, what if I read it like this? You idiot. There's definitely dangers that are far from anything I know around here.
Drew?
Alex said it.
Oh.
Remember, Alex
That was more like Drew.
after discovering the poisonous leaves at camp.
Okay.
All right, now to the questions.
Mm-hmm. Are these fill in the blank?
Nope. Well, yes.
I hate fill in the blank.
All right, now, there's two ways to get points. You can take an initial guess, and if you get it right, you get 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
If you get it wrong, then I'll give you multiple choice, but you only get 1 point if you get it right.
Okay.
Okay. How many of the last year's Blood versus Water contestants were shown on screen in the opening segment? Counting only people shown completely and for more than a half a second.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to guess 9.
Okay, you are incorrect, so now you can go for 1 point. The options are 8, 11, or 13.
11.
11 is correct. Marissa, Candace, Monica, Tyson, Rachel, Brad, Rupert, Laura, B, John, Sierra, Laura, M.
Okay.
Question number 2. Which 3 couples didn't raise their hands when asked about being able to make fire? You get 1 point per couple.
All right. Misty and Baylor.
Ding, ding.
John and Julie.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say Keith and Wes.
You want to say it? Are you saying it?
I am if you put that third finger up. Yeah, I'll say it.
All right, you're correct.
Did you get all 3 of those?
You got all 3. No, I missed Baylor and Missy for some reason.
Oh, I'm sorry. They were too busy with the monkeys.
Question number 3. Who was the last person on top of the immunity challenge from Coyopa? The third wall. And you get 3 points if you know it, and 1 point if I have to give you multiple choice. I knew this one.
Last person up for Coyopa was Alec.
That is right. How do you know that?
Because both the brothers were last. Because they were tall, athletic, and they both made a leap to make it up to that last wall.
I remembered it because he's the one that pushed Rocker up and then ran up the wall. I got 3 points for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. All right. Number 4.
You're so supportive.
Well, we're competing, David.
Okay.
Who was shown having a reaction when Rocker exclaimed, "There's not that usual jerk to vote off"? Again, 3 points if you know it, 1 point if you have to use the multiple choice.
Dale.
Okay, that is incorrect. Here are your 3 choices. Val, Jacqueline, or Josh.
I'll say Val.
That is incorrect. It was Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Oh, that was the one time they looked at her. Okay.
Yep. All right, last question. Name 3 animals other than monkeys or crabs seen on the episode, and you get 1 point per animal.
There's a scorpion. She said not crabs and not monkeys. I'm seeing a picture of penguins. I don't know why I'm seeing penguins in my head. They weren't penguins.
Penguins? Aren't
I
those
know.
like North Pole animals?
It must have been a National Geographic commercial that was playing on CBS.com. That's probably what it was.
They showed penguins on a desert island.
On a Nicaraguan island. Oh, goodness. Well, I know the scorpion's on there, and Alec mentioned a puma, but I don't remember seeing a puma. Gosh, I don't know. That's the only one I can think of that off the top of my head.
All right, so you got 1 point for
Yeah.
scorpions.
Mhm.
Also a sloth. I
Okay.
remember the sloth. And pelicans.
These questions had better be this detailed and hard next week.
Hey, I did as well as you or the same on this one, if not better.
I think you did better.
So, hey, don't go saying these. If I kick your butt next week, you better not go,
This should almost count as 2 because this was a 90-minute thing. I had to remember all this, and you're only going to get a 60-minute thing. So
Shut up. Shut up.
Miko's laughing his head off. right
Whiny,
now.
whiny, whiny. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the CBS teaser, and after that, the D&D Survivor Challenge point breakdown. But first, the CBS Express teaser. Take it away, David.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
Are you finished? Episode 2 is entitled Method. Don't even push that button. Method to this madness.
Oh my.
After losing their flint, one tribe attempts to barter with Jeff in a rare negotiation. Meanwhile, former Major League Baseball player John Rocker's controversial past threatens his future in the game. Dun dun dun.
All right, so we've already said we think it's Coyopa, and we're saying that out of ignorance because we don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we get the scene. I wonder if we get the scene where Rocker talks to Natalie, and then Keith brings up, or somebody brings up who he really is, and say this. This is typical for you, from who you are, what you've done before.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we know Val. Did you just say Val? Because I was reading the tweet. Did you just say Val?
I said Keith because he
Val.
mentioned him.
Val's the one who called him out pre-game.
Well, so did Keith. Keith knew who he was. He said he was
that's true. But Keith isn't on his tribe.
He's on Natalie's tribe, so he's in condoling her.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're
So.
saying. Yeah.
All right, you ready to move on?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes.
D&D Survivor Challenge. Thank you, Shayna, for all of your hard work. Shayna deserves nothing but high praise because I don't know how long gathering all these points. So we must thank Shayna.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to read the breakdown from lowest point total to highest point total.
And we will also say whose team they're on, just for our benefit.
For our benefit. Coming in with the lowest number of points was Jacqueline with 3 total points.
Yeah.
And like every person will get, she got an appearance point and she got 1 confessional. She got the minimum, so she met her quota. Second to lowest, also on Dwayne's team like Jacqueline, is Alec with an appearance point and 2 confessionals. And looking at this list, I'm glad we added the confessional points.
Yeah,
because that's kind of running the game right now. They do go in order.
Right. So you get 2 points for a confessional, is that right?
I think so, yeah.
So he got 4 points for confessionals because of 2 confessionals. Okay.
Yeah, and the person with the most confessionals ended up finishing up top. So
yeah.
Third from the bottom, which would be 16th, John Rocker.
He's on your team.
On my team, 7 total points. Got an appearance point and 3 confessionals. Wes, who was also on my team, got 7 points.
Those confessionals.
I know.
Nice.
An appearance point and 3 confessionals. Then Baylor, who's on Dwayne's team, got 9 points, appearance point, 4 confessionals. I mean, that's all they're getting right now if they're not winning.
Right.
Because you notice most of the winning tribe people were on my team.
By the way, if you're writing this down, sorry, David's on speed dial right now.
Well, we've been extending, and it's already at 5 after 11. So here we go.
So what? We've only been on an hour.
I know. And then let's see. After Baylor with 9 points, there were 2 people tied with 11 points each. Kelly on my tribe. She got an appearance point. Her tribe won the reward challenge. Her tribe won the immunity challenge, and she only had 1 confessional. So even though she only had 1, She got the winning points from her tribe winning both challenges.
Right.
Then Val also got 11 points. She got an appearance point. She went to Exile Island, got a points for that, and then 4 confessionals.
Awesome.
Which are mostly from Exile Island. So going to Exile is not bad for us. It's bad for them, but not bad for us because her and Keith really benefited from those confessionals over there.
Yeah.
Then we got 5 people tied at 13 points.
All right.
And Kelly was on my team. Val's on Dwayne's team.
Right.
Dale on Dwayne's team. And actually, all 5 of these people got them for all the same reasons.
By the way, Kelly and Val got 11 points. They were not part of the tied for 13.
Right. Okay. The 5 people tied for 13 all got an appearance point. They're on the winning tribe that won both challenges, and they all had 2 confessionals.
Wow.
Yep. So that's Dale for Dwayne's team, Drew from my team, John Mish from Dwayne's team, and Julie and Natalie from my team.
All right.
All tied. And then, in part because he got the episode title, even though he was on the losing tribe, Josh got 14 points.
Yeah.
He got an appearance point, he got the episode title, and 4 confessionals. So you get a little,
Josh.
Get a little sap in your eye. You're going to get some extra confessionals.
Go, Josh. You're the man.
So then, surprising to me, with 15 points was Missy. The 2 people actually tied, Missy and Reed. Josh was on my team, but Missy and Reed tied with 15 points each. I mean, we'd hardly heard from them, but it's because they kept winning.
Yeah.
So they both had appearance points. Their tribe won reward and immunity, and they each had 3 confessionals.
Well, you say we hardly heard from them. We heard from them more than Natalie, Julie, John, Drew, Dale, Kelly, Alec, Jacqueline. I mean, we heard from them more than them.
Right.
They had 3 confessionals. So.
That's true.
Anyway.
That's true. They just seem to have a very – well, Missy we heard from, but Reed seemed like he was invisible for most of it.
I don't remember seeing Reed in 3 confessionals. I got to go back and watch that.
Yeah. But that's your point, so if you're taking them away, that's yours. In third place –
I trust Shayna.
The third highest point getter, who will no longer be in the game, was Nadia with 22 points.
Woo, my team.
That's right, Dwayne's team. Appearance point, she had 4 confessionals, but the bulk of her points came 13, and that she was voted out first.
Yeah, because I will never get any more points from her.
Nope. And then we come to the top 2, who both happen to be on David's team, Valdre.
Yeah, which really helped you out a lot.
Yeah, well, so did Exile Island. Thanks to Jeremy winning, he had the second most points. He got 24 points. An appearance point, he won the immunity reward challenge.
Immunity
as well.
Reward challenge?
I don't know why somebody put an individual
Maybe
reward
individual?
challenge. Thank you. And for that same reason, his tribe won reward challenge, so he got points for that. His tribe won immunity challenge and 5 confessionals.
Wow.
And then, to me, the biggest upset of the entire episode.
Wow.
The number 1 point person was Keith with 25 points. He appearance point, his tribe won reward, his tribe won. He went to Exile Island thanks to that tribe win. Then he won immunity, and then he had 7 thanks to Exile Island confessionals. That's 14 points right there. That's
incredible.
I'm so glad we did the confessional thing.
Yeah.
So at the end of week 1, Dwayne has a respectable 106 points.
Yes.
And David has a leading 127 points.
That's right. You are leading by 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. That's Survivor Fantasy. Sorry, the D&D Survivor game.
Yeah,
whatever.
Survivor Challenge. Fantasy Challenge, whatever.
Yeah, thank you. Survivor Challenge. We got to remember what it's called.
Yeah, you do, if you're going to keep singing it.
All right, y'all. You've been waiting the whole episode for this. It is an hour and 9 minutes into the episode, plus a couple seconds for the intro, and you've been waiting for this. We want to hear, David, your comparison of the first episode of Borneo since you've watched it since the recap episode, since our recap and discussion. You've watched it. What did you come away with?
The fact is it wasn't recorded in high definition back then really made it feel like a reality show.
Yeah, really.
It was really out there. The big differences are one is in Probst. In the beginning, in that first season, he really looked and seemed casual. It's like he was talking to them more than instructing them, you know. But he was still learning the game, obviously, himself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I loved his nonchalant speech while the castaways scrambled around the boat and took whatever they could before jumping off. I missed that. They did that in a couple other seasons. I forget which one it was, but I remember Andrew Savage being in a suit because they told him they were going to a photo shoot, and Probst ended up saying, no, the game's actually going to start right now. And they all had to jump off the boat in their clothes, grab whatever they could, and go. And I missed that scrambling type start.
Yeah. What do you mean by his nonchalant speech?
He just walked down the boat and was talking to the camera as everybody was running around him like chickens with their heads cut off. It was pretty neat. And even as they did that, as they scrambled, as he walked, there was a short bio of each castaway, and there was like a picture from home, like about a 3-second video clip of them just smiling in their medical gear or in their whatever they did for a living. So it's kind of like a real bio from home.
Right.
But his demeanor at the immunity challenge made it feel like a dress rehearsal. It was almost as if he was talking to the dream team. He was so really casual. Yeah. And his nervous but sympathetic nature at tribal council has evolved into an accusatory "you're out of here" attitude. He was very casual, very laid back. In fact, tribal council used to be whoever speaks the loudest gets to finish their sentence. If you go back and watch that first tribal council from Borneo, it's kind of funny. They're all speaking at once. Everybody's saying what they're thinking. Probst might ask a question, but it goes really fast. But from the point when they walked into tribal council to the point where they voted, the first person voted was less than 2 minutes. It was extremely fast, extremely short, and it just went by. So he also spoke at the immunity challenge as if he had knowledge of what was going on at camp. Because he said, I understand you guys don't have fire yet, so you really want to win this challenge because you get Flint. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Another point I saw was the castaways used to dress like they were on a cruise and suddenly shipwrecked. The way these two tribes got to the beach, it really felt like they had to start a civilization. You know, and they were playing that way, and only a few people that I could really notice, especially Richard Hatch, were actually starting to play the game.
Right.
Starting to talk about strategizing, starting to talk about working things together. We need to get together. We need to come up with stuff like this. And, you know, the first 26 minutes on the YouTube link leading up to the first challenge really felt like they were actually stranded. And it was kind of neat to see them come together. Some people just flat out took over. Some people were like BB. He was like, this is how we're going to do it. And one of the girls was trying to get him to take a break, and he didn't want to stop. This is how we're going to do it. And he just kept going.
Right.
And I was wondering how long he was going to last. He didn't last long, but going at that pace without a lot of water, without a lot of other stuff. But it was different. I really recommend you watching it if you got time. 44 minutes. Just go back and watch that first episode. You'll appreciate the production that goes into it. It's almost a whole different show now. But another thing that was interesting was the very first challenge was out in the water. They had this raft they all had to hold on to. They had to light torches on the way in, and then light the big torch at the end. Whoever lit the final torch wins. Probst never commented during the whole challenge.
Oh, I know.
It just said Tagai leading to Guy, whatever it was, in the lead or behind, and it was kind of neat. But it was almost to the point where with the music and the sounds coming from the castaways, you really didn't need Probst to tell you what was going on because you could see it. You know, it just made it more intense.
But it's odd to watch now.
It looks like a dress rehearsal. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, just not in high definition.
So you were going to compare it to this episode 1.
It's hard to compare. I wanted to compare it because those were 16 people that had never done this before, never seen this before, and I wanted to see how they started the game. Did they jump into the strategy side? Did they just get on there and act like, wow, I can't believe we're doing this. This is neat. Let's set it up. Let's work. And it was kind of divided. There were folks out there that were just looking to start a new life. It's as if they were shipwrecked. And I thought that was kind of neat. And there was some of that this season, but there was a lot more, seemed like more talking, more social. That's what we got from the edit. Not so much building. I mean, there was building, but the first episode for 26 minutes, they were starting a new life. They were starting a new world, and they were trying to get everything together. And there was a few people that were just trying to play the game, like Hatch.
Right.
He wanted to talk and figure it out, and he was kind of zeroing in on people and picking other people that he didn't care about as much.
Right. Well, what's interesting about Borneo, the first episode, is they didn't know what they were getting into.
Right.
You know, and they were kind of setting what the rules were going to be like. And many of them thought alliances were just wrong. They thought it was like cheating.
Right.
You know, and Hatch is like, well.
But I could expect that from Borneo, but from watching the first episode of San Juan, it was similar to that. It reminded me of Borneo in that sense. People were just going out there starting stuff, collecting trees. We didn't get a lot of, hey, while we're collecting branches, do you want to make alliance? Do you want to talk about anything? I mean, when we were watching Philippines, as soon as they hit the beach, RC was in Scoopin's face saying, I want to align with you.
Right.
We got that right away, and I'm like, oh, man, it's starting already. And then Malcolm's talking to people, and Denise is talking to people, and Russell's talking to people, and it was right away. And that's not necessarily because there were any returning players, but we just got we got a lot of Borneo. But I'm with Dave, who sent in the first feedback. The more I went back and watched the premiere episode again, I knew what to expect. I knew I was going to laugh. I knew what not to expect, and I enjoyed it a lot more.
Right.
I looked at it more like these are people that just don't know the game that well or haven't really seen a whole lot of it. There are a few that obviously have, but there are also a few that haven't, and that's kind of. And I'm sorry, he's funny, and I hope he stays a while. But Keith's edit was as if he'd never seen the game before.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know. And I don't think he knew that she got a clue.
See, I don't either. I think his edit was pretty accurate, but at the same point, I thought he was funny, and I liked him, and I hope he sticks around. But I just didn't think that he gave off. I think his edit was pretty accurate, and that he just hadn't seen the game before.
Right. Well, one thing I definitely agree about this first episode of San Juan del Sur, Blood vs. Water 2, is that they did not show us a lot of alliances being made like they have in the past. I mean, usually they get on that island and we see scrambling for alliances, and they did not show us that.
We see idol searches. We see people going out the first day looking for idols. I mean, that's we've been told that happens right away.
Now, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. That just means that they chose not to edit it that way.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I mean, at the same point, if it's supposed to be about the cast, I would think we've gotten even more interaction instead of just singling out who's the oldest, who's the youngest, what's your name, what I'm going to call you now, instead of that kind of stuff. But see, I understand what Will's saying. It's more about the cast than the twist. I mean, I agree with that. It's about the people playing. But if Blood vs. Water 1 didn't have that twist, I would really not have liked that season. Because, me, I don't like the split seasons of returnees and half new players. Right. I don't like that season at all. But because of the Blood vs. Water twist, I thought it was a better season than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And
I liked Redemption Island that season because of the twist.
Yeah.
But you still, even with no... But like this season, the first third of the show was taken up in Heroes Arena. And it did make for an interesting start. I did like it more the second time I watched it.
Well, I like the whole Day Zero thing.
Yeah.
Because they used it as the way of explaining who these people are. So we not only got the explanation of who they were, but we got to see them interacting on an island. Whereas normally we get a pic of them coming in on the boat doing nothing, and they'll say, John Rocker was a baseball player, and all we see is him on the beach. I mean, is him riding in on a boat. This time we got to see him and Julie interacting on the beach. So I liked the way they introduced the players this season very much.
And if you go back and watch Day Zero a second or third time, you also see who's prepared and who's not. Val and Jeremy get up to the flint and like, yes, we can make fire tonight. And Reed and Josh are catching crabs. They're making fire. They're starting to cook. We're playing Survivor. Then you got John and Julie, and Julie's going, do snakes live in holes? I mean, there's like crab holes all over the place.
Right.
You got Missy and Baylor looking up at monkeys. They'd never even get to the fire because they're looking at all the monkeys around them.
Well, they were scared.
And then you got John and Jacqueline, talking about, look, Miss Michigan's carrying wood. I'm out here having fun. That's right. I'm like, to me, that really, Day Zero really told a lot about the players.
Right.
We really got to see who some of them were.
Right.
And Keith and Dale, they're the comedy team. I mean, Keith and Wes, they're the comedy team.
Yeah.
It's father and son comedy.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you, David. That was great.
I was willing to sacrifice 44 minutes. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to tell everybody that if you want to keep up with the individual players' points on the Survivor, the D&D Survivor Challenge, they are on the draft post, and we will keep that as a featured post all season. So you'll be able to click on that post, and it'll show you their pictures, and the ones in color are still in the game. The ones in black and white are out of the game, and it'll have this week's. So, like, for example, until episode 2 comes out, it'll have week 1 and then total. So next week it'll change to week 2 and then total. So we won't show week 1, week 2, week 3. We'll just do the current week and the total. But
Right.
you'll be able to do that. And if you want the breakdown, listen to the feedback show, and we'll give it to you there. That won't be posted anywhere unless David puts it on Facebook, which, knowing David, he probably will.
Don't give me more work.
David probably won't. By the way, I can't believe we totally forgot this. I mean, I can't believe we waited to the end of the show to bring this up
Okay.
on our notes. Shayna and Katya are both writing for us on Survivor Talk with D&D, and they both dropped posts today.
Mhm.
So Katya is on there, and Shayna have both written blog posts about Survivor Episode 1 on our website, Survivor Talk with D&D, and their latest blog post will always be a featured post. And if you're not familiar with our website, when you go to our website, the top 8 to 10, however many featured posts, scroll, their images scroll, and you can just wait for yours, the one you're looking for, and click on it.
And for even quicker access to all that and all of this, you can go to our Facebook page, join our group, and all the links will be right there as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's quicker, but they are there. Yes. I don't know if it's quicker because we have a lot of conversations going
That's
on
true.
our Facebook group. And our Facebook group is Survivor Talk. It's facebook.com/groups/Survivor Talk. And we do have a page, but we don't use it. But it's there, so no one else will take it. And somebody took Survivor Talk Twitter handle or whatever and befriended me on Twitter. It's like, okay, thank you. Thank you for that, whoever you are.
So he adjusted our Twitter, and it's @Survivor_Talk.
That's right. Follow us on Twitter. We're almost to 1150. I think we're pretty close. So, again, thanks for shopping Amazon. It helps. Create a link on your desktop. You can make it as simple as amazon.stwdd.com. That's all you need. Start all your Amazon shopping on there. Go get your T-shirt. Today, if you're listening on Monday, it literally is the last day that you can get your T-shirt. We really need to break 50 T-shirts, and we're at 33 as of this podcast. So please go out there and get yourself a T-shirt. Help support MS. Help us upgrade David's video equipment. We really appreciate it. And you get entered in for a $25 Amazon gift card.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Music for tonight's show is Summit by Skrillex, Until I Write a Parody. And I have not written a parody yet. Sorry,
We'll
Dave.
be waiting.
Well, nothing inspired me.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with my parodies, if you're new to the podcast, if you go to our website, I think there's a menu item called Song Parodies. I think I wrote like 8 last season. I wrote a lot of them.
Yes, you did.
Which one was your favorite?
I still like Spy Shack.
Yeah.
I like how it ends. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, Spy Shack was good. Spy Shack was about Tony.
Yeah.
And I wrote one about Cass called, what was that one called?
Don't quiz me on that.
It was based on Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
So I sang Wrecking Ball. I wrote one, I don't remember who else I wrote about. Oh, I wrote one, well, anyway. Just go look it up. Go look it up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, David, that's all I've got. Do you have anything else? Any last words, final words of wisdom from the Davester?
Episode 1 was good because it was entertaining. I won't call it great because there was not a lot of strategy in the edit, but it was still very entertaining, and it's still Survivor, so I'm still gonna like it.
Yeah.
It just didn't meet the strategy level of entertainment I was hoping for, but it did meet the fun level.
Yeah.
So, and the blood versus water I liked. It was a good. I liked the twist.
Yeah. I like Prope's great idea that he had a couple days before the show that got rid of Redemption Island and got us Exile Island and
Amen.
Heroes thing.
Heroes Arena.
Yeah, Heroes Arena, which he didn't call it until after the show aired.
Yeah.
Still, I like that. I also enjoyed episode 1. I also enjoyed Super Tease.
Mm-hmm.
Via Super Tease. And I am not voting for or really hoping that they bring back a full intro. If I want to watch a full intro, I can go to YouTube and watch a full intro. I want that extra 60 seconds of TV show time.
Yep.
I don't need the intro. That's my opinion.
And if they wanted to go to commercial free, I'd be happy with that too.
Yeah.
I don't think they can afford it, but still.
Yeah, I don't know how they would. Yeah, remember, that's why they have, and this is the iPhone 6 challenge. Brought to you by Sprint, who will buy you out of your contract. Anyway, that's pretty amazing. They'll buy you out of your contract. Problem is, I don't know if Sprint's got any coverage around here. You know?
I'm not a Sprint user.
Who do you use?
I use Verizon.
Verizon. I use Verizon too. My family uses AT&T, but
Can you hear
I
me
use
now?
Verizon on my work phone.
Okay.
So anyway, all right, everybody, it's time to go. So thanks again for listening. That is all I've got. Go buy yourself a T-shirt. By golly, I'm gonna have a heart attack. How about you, Dave?
I'm good.
All right, see you, everybody.
See ya.